Awesome. Perfect.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 3. Thank you so much for joining us. I was just telling everybody that if you have a practice or a regular practice where you go through the sequence, just allow yourself to connect each time and just like do a little bit of an experiment where you can notice how you're feeling. Just like check in with yourself and during the practice feel or try to recognize how the mood changes during the practice. All right, so we're going to start in a standing position with your hands by your sides, your feet together, rotating your shoulders back and down to open the chest. Let's take a big breath in and empty out. And just as I said, begin to recognize what is the state that your body and your mind is like right here, right now. Begin to root down through your feet. Focusing on the breath, recognizing how the breath is now. Is it agitated? Is it calm? Whenever you feel ready, you need to bring your hands to the center of the chest in Anjali Mudra if you feel comfortable. And start with our opening mantra. Cleansing breath first, deep inhale. And a full breath out to let it go. Let's start together with an big inhale. Vande Gurunam, Vande Gurunam, Charanarvinde, Charanarvinde, Sandarashikam, Sandarashikam, Swatma Sukhavode, Swatma Sukhavode, Nishvesye, Nishvesye, Changalikayamane, Changalikayamane, Samsara hala hala, Samsara hala hala, Mohashantye, Mohashantye, Avahu Purushakaram, Avahu Purushakaram, Shankachakrase Dharinam, Shankachakrase Dharinam, Sahasra Shirasam Shvedam, Sahasra Shirasam Shvedam, Pranamami Patanjalim, Pranamami Patanjalim. Together. Placing your hands by our sides. Let's start with Surya Namaskar. Take up, inhale, reach up towards the sky. Do it, exhale, fold forward with the legs. Ready, inhale, head up. Chatwari, plant those hands, step back to your plank. Take it easy for the first one, lower the knees and lower all the way down to the floor. Take a back bend, inhale. Exhale, press back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a moment here, connect to your breath. Pressing into those palms. Feet hip distance apart. Take another inhale. Smooth out breath. One more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale that out. On your next inhale, raise your heels, bend your knees, walk or step to the top of the mat. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Exhale to fold. Root down to your feet, come all the way up. Samasthiti, hands by your sides. Again, deep inhale, reach up, look up. Do it, exhale, fold forward on the legs. Then inhale, head up. Chaturanga, plant those hands and step back to plank with knees or toes lower down. Find your back bend, top. Shut, exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment here again, connect your breath, pressing into those palms. We begin to find that ocean sound type of breath. Equal parts of the inhalation and the exhalation, as we saw a couple of weeks ago. Inhale, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Stop that inhale, step or hop in between the hands and lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Now I inhale, reach up towards the sky. And on the exhale side, must be the hands by your side. Second, deep inhale, reach up, look up. Do it, exhale, fold forward over the legs. Then inhale, head up. Chaturanga, climb those hands, step or hop back. Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low plank. Find your back and Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And again, moving to the breath. For 5 sounding breaths. Spreading those fingers nice and wide. Beautiful hand position for everybody. Full exhale. 2 more. 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Stop that inhale, step or hop in between the hands and lengthen the spine. Ashto, exhale, fold forward over the legs. Nava, inhale, reach up, root down. On the exhale, Samasthiti, hands by your sides. B, bend your knees, sit your hips low. Utkatasana, reach up. On the exhale, fold forward over the legs. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Chaturanga, plant those hands, step or hop back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Find your back bend, Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a moment again. On your next inhale, step your right foot in between the hands, back heel pivots down, Virabhadrasana A, reaching up towards the sky. And on the exhale, we fold forward, plant those hands, step back, Chaturanga position. Find your back bend, Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Stepping the left foot in between the hands, back heel pivots down, reaching up towards the sky. On the exhale, plant those hands and step back. Go for a flow. Find your back bend, inhale, exhale, pressing back, downward facing dog. And again, stay. The state of the asana, 4, 5 sounding breaths. Pressing into those hands, 2. Rolling the shoulders back away from ears, 3. Keeping the spine nice and long, 4. Pressing into those hands, and 5. Raise your heels, bend your knees, walk or step to the top of the mat. Lengthen the spine, inhale, exhale to twist fold. Bend your knees, sit your hips low, reach up, look up. And on the exhale, Samasthiti, hands by your sides. Last one, deep inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Chaturanga, plant those hands, step or hop back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Find your back bend, Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, step your right foot in between the hands, back heel pivots down, Virabhadrasana, reaching up. And on the exhale, we plant those hands, step back, Chaturanga position. Back bend, inhale. Exhale, press back. Second side, stepping the left foot in between the hands, back heel pivots down, Virabhadrasana. And on the exhale, plant those hands, step back, Chaturanga position. Beautiful. Take your back bend, inhale. And on the exhale, press back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And again, we connect to the breath. Drishti towards the navel. Pressing into those palms. Into the index knuckle. Take another inhale. Full out breath. One more. Exhale. On your next inhale, raise the heels, bend your knees, walk or step to the top of your feet. Lengthen the spine on an inhale. Exhale to just fold. Bend your knees, sit your hips low, reach up. And on the exhale, hands by your sides. Open the feet hip distance apart. Rotate your shoulders back. Adho Mukha. Folding forward, catch your big toes with the peace fingers and lengthen. Take a big breath in here, prepare. On the exhale, fold forward, elbows to the side, spread of the head moves towards the ground. And again, we start with a count. Drishti towards the nose, 2, 3, 4. Keeping the spine nice and long. And 5. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhaling here. Hands underneath the feet for Palahastasana. Take a nice big breath in, lengthen. And on the exhale, begin to fold forward again. The torso moves towards the thighs. If we need to bend the knees a lot, we bend the knees a lot. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Exhaling, release. Hands to your hips, micro bend the knees, coming all the way back to standing Samasthiti, hands by the sides. Step the right foot back. All 10 toes turn towards the sides of the mat. Extend your arms, starfish pose. Take a big breath in here. Opening the right foot towards the back of the mat. Hinge forward. Bring the hand to your shin and the other hand towards the sky. Trikonasana. Take a big breath in. Smooth breath out. Front leg is extended. Another inhale. The fingers are reaching towards the sky. Full exhale. On your next inhale, gaze down. Micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to starfish. Second side, we open the left foot towards the front of the mat. Trikonasana, second side. Hand drops to the shin or a block, and the other hand reaches up towards the sky. Keep the hip rotating towards the wall. Take another inhale. Full out breath. One more. Exhale it out. Gaze down, micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to starfish. Second variation, Parivrita Trikonasana. We open the right foot towards the back of the mat. We windmill those hands. The left hand comes to the floor or the mat, and the other hand, or a block, and the other hand comes towards the sky. Take another inhale. Once the rotation begins, yes, we can reach towards the sky with the shoulder collapse. Another breath. These legs extend. Yes. Yeah. Full exhale. One more. On the exhale, gaze down, micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to starfish. Second side, we open the left foot, and again, we keeping the front leg extended. We hinge forward with the opposite hand. Hand can come to your shin or a block, and the other hand may go to the lower back. As you begin to rotate the spine, maybe you reach the hand towards the sky. Take a nice big breath in. And empty out. One more, just like that. Exhale it out. And your next inhale, gaze down, micro bend the knee, coming all the way back to starfish. And on the exhale, Samasthiti, hands by your sides, feet together. Stepping the right foot back again, alternate toes turn towards the sides of the mat, extend your arms, starfish. This time we open the right foot and we bend the knee. We take a big breath in here, forearm to your thigh, Svakonasana. The other arm reaches forward towards the back of the room, the palm facing the floor. Take a big breath in, your top palm, yes. Full exhale. If you have a little bit more space, maybe we'll lower the hands to a block on the outside of the foot. Keep on pressing the outside of your back foot on the mat. Another inhale, rotating the chest. Full exhale. On your next inhale, gaze down, coming all the way back to starfish. Second side, Svakonasana. Opening the left foot again, bending the knee, launching forward. Take a big breath in here. Either forearm to your thigh and the other arm extends, or hand reaches down to a block or the ground. Take a nice big breath in. Empty that out. Scoop your pelvis forward. Another inhale. Full out. On your next inhale, gaze down, coming all the way back to starfish. Parivrita Svakonasana, hands to the center of the chest. We open the right foot towards the back of the mat. We bend the knee. We begin to rotate the torso. The back heel may come off the ground or not. An opposite elbow comes to your thigh, and the other hand stays either on your hand or maybe on your lower back. Take a big breath in. Option to stay in here. Option to reach the lower hand to a block on the outside of the foot or to the mat. The other arm may stay or may reach towards the back of the room. Beautiful. Take a big breath in. Full exhale. One more, just like that. Exhale it out. Coming all the way back to starfish. That was a long one. Second side. So you open the left foot again, hand to the center of the chest. We begin to rotate again, bringing the opposite elbow across the thigh, or if not, the hand to the thigh and the other hand to the lower back. Take a big breath in here. Option to stay with the hands where they are. Option to reach the top arm forward, the palm facing down. Another inhale. Smooth exhale. One more, just like that. Big hands. Exhale now. Gaze down, coming all the way back to starfish. And on the exhale, we step forward, Samasthiti at the top of the mat. We step the right foot back again. Alternate toes turn, hands to the hips, rotate your shoulders back, big inhale. On the exhale, fold forward, roll over the center. Dropping the hands on the ground, lifting the chest, take a breath. And on the exhale, fold forward, back again. Elbows may bend in here. The crown of the head wants to move towards the ground. If it doesn't touch the ground, don't worry too much. That's not the whole objective. You can keep on bending your knees to keep the spine nice and long, to give yourself a little bit more space. Another inhale. Full out breath. On your next inhale, press into those hands, lengthen the spine. Exhale that out. Hands to your hips, micro bend the knees, coming all the way back to starfish. Extending your arms by your sides. Take a big breath in here. Third variation. On the exhale, we clasp the hands behind us. Take a big breath in. I'm just keeping the second. And on the exhale, fold forward, roll over the legs. If this variation is too much for the shoulders, we may keep the hands on the hips instead for a second. Take a big breath in. Smooth breath out. One more. Exhale that out. On your next inhale, gaze down, micro bending the knees, coming all the way back to starfish. Extend your arms. On the exhale, big step forward, Samasthiti at the top of the mat. Hands to your hips. Open the feet back towards all the 10 toes towards the back of the mat. Squaring those hips towards the short edge of the mat. Take a big breath in here. Rotate back. On the exhale, fold forward over the front leg. Parsvottanasana. Take a big breath in. Smooth breath out. And everybody's gonna drop their left hip a little bit more. Yes. Keep on hugging the elbows together. Pressing into the back foot. Beautiful. Take another inhale. Smooth out. Pressing into the front foot, coming all the way back up. Second side, holding the hands where they are. Just change the feet. Rotating the shoulders back. Take a breath. On the exhale, we begin to fold forward back again. Take a nice long inhale. Smooth out breath. One more, just like that. Yes, I'm dropping this. Yeah. Full exhale. Beautiful. And your next inhale, pressing into that front foot, coming all the way back up. Extend your arms, and on the exhale, big step forward, sounds feet at the top of the mat. All right. What's next? What's the name? You know it. It's nice. And Utita Hasta. Utita Hasta Padangustasana. Okay, hands to big toe pose. Okay, holding the hips, rotating their shoulders back. Take a big breath in here. Ground through the left foot and pick up the right leg. Option to stay here, option to hold the knee. Take a big breath in, option to stay. If you have a little bit more space, maybe you hold the big toe and begin to extend the leg. Take a big breath in here. Smooth breath out. Option to stay upright or option to fold forward over the leg or the knee. Keep the other leg nice and extended. Beautiful. Take a big breath in. Smooth breath out. On your next inhale, wherever you are, begin to rise back again. On the exhale, we open the knee towards the side or the leg towards the side. If the balance is good, maybe return the gaze towards the second side. Big breath in. Smooth exhale. One more. On the exhale, we come back to center. Option to stay, option to fall forward again. Take a big breath in to rise. Hands to the hips. Extend the front leg. Point your toe. Take a big breath in. Smooth breath out. Soften the knee and embrace that. Another smooth breath. Whenever you feel ready, release the foot and shake that out. All right, second side. We ground down to the other foot. We pick up the left leg, either holding the knee or the big toe and extending or slightly extending. Option to stay in here, option to fold forward over the leg. Take a big breath in here. Smooth breath out. One more. Exhale it out. On your next inhale, rise again if you're folding. On the exhale, begin to open the knee or the leg towards the side. Take a breath. If the balance is good, maybe return the gaze towards the opposite side. Full exhale. One more. On the exhale, we begin to come back to center. Hands, take a moment here, option to stay, option to fold forward over the leg. Take a big breath in to rise. Hands to your hips, extend your leg if it's not already there. Point your toes. Big inhale. Smooth breath out. Up, up, up. One more inhale. On the exhale, release. And shake. Oh my God. This box is terrible. Second balance. We're gonna do that in this time. Okay, so we ground into the left foot again, and we begin to bring the ankle, the right ankle on top of your thigh. If you have lotus in your practice, maybe you go with the heel all the way up into the hip. Option to stay here, option to bring the arm around, that's your same arm, the right arm. Maybe it goes all the way around to hold maybe your forearm or to hold your big toe. Option to stay upright, working on the balance, or maybe begin to fall forward over the leg. Option to use a block underneath your hand if the floor is too far away. Another inhale. Smooth out rock. One more. Exhale that out. If you're falling forward, root down through the foot, begin to rise. Stay for the exhale and release the foot. And shake that out. Second side. We ground down to the left foot this time. Through the right foot this time as we pick up the left. And again, if you have lotus in your practice, go for that. The same hand goes around. Maybe you catch your arm behind. We take a big breath in, and here, option to stay working on that balance, working on the strength of that standing leg, or maybe on the exhale, we begin to fall forward again. And again, if you need to use a block underneath those hands, go for that. Another inhale, just focusing on that point that's not moving. Full exhale. One more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale that out. Root down through your foot, coming all the way back up if you're folding, and on the exhale, release. Just like that. Vinyasa, take a big breath in, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold forward and relax. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Chaturanga, plant those hands, step or hop back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Find your back and pull on the top. Adho Mudra Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a moment here, connect again to your breath. And whenever you feel ready, raise your heels, bend your knees, walk or step to your seat. All right. We're going to work with Vinyasa today. Fun. Okay. And I'm going to use Nadia's blocks because this one doesn't have a pair. I'm going to use them for a moment and I will give them to you. Okay, Nadia? Is that okay? Yes. She's like, I don't know. Okay. So before we start our, like the sequence of the seated positions, we're just going to take a look at of what is Vinyasa, how to do it, why do we do it, etc., etc. So in the seated sequence, everything is connected by a Vinyasa. I think we discussed this last class. So the Vinyasa means exactly placing in a specific order. So like Namala, as I explained last class, we place the sequence in a specific order. And what holds the sequence together is the Vinyasa. Okay, so between each position or each side of the practice, we do a Vinyasa. So for example, if we are in Paschimottanasana, we go through the two variations of Paschimottanasana, and then I lift, extend, come back to center. I'm going to plant my hands to lift and step back to my this way. Okay. So when I'm seated here, I end up my pulse across the ankles, place the hands on the floor or on blocks, lift and step back Find my vinyasa and step back to down. And that is connected to a jump through. All right, so why do we need the blocks? To make the arms a little bit longer, of course. I do recognize that I have long arms. I noticed that, you know, like because of practicing this, because I do have long arms. So if you think about it, my arms bend when I'm sitting, right? And most of the people, or some of the people that I know, they barely touch the floor, right? So, but that is not the ability to jump back and jump through. It's not connected to the length of the arms. It is connected to how we can tuck the knees into the chest so deep in here. So the flexion of the hips works in here as well as the core, pressing into the hands, lifting and stepping back. Or maybe even we can do this in many ways. So either lifting, pressing the feet on the floor and maybe step one foot back, step the other, go through a vinyasa, or maybe even staying in down dog. And then on the second, it can look like maybe bringing one foot towards the opposite wrist and the other foot towards the other opposite wrist. Walk, walk, walk. Bring the hips down. Okay. So, or maybe trying that part of lifting and trying to jump, pressing into the blocks, maybe hovering the feet from the floor and reaching back. And maybe when we go forward, jump and try not to touch the ground, right? So let's see how that goes. Placing your hands on your blocks beside your hips. Okay, extend the legs. Take a big breath in here. First of all, we're gonna bend the knees and bring the heels, the ankles to cross. The knees so close to the chest that if somebody wanted you to take the knees into the chest a little bit more, you will be able to take them a little bit more. And round your spine in here. Place the hands on the block. Lift the hips. Maybe the feet are touching the ground and step back. Yeah. And once you're in your down dog, pressing into those hands, lift the heels, bend the knees a lot, walk or step to the top, yes, in between. Beautiful. And calming down. Yes. So that would look like maybe stepping one foot, maybe stepping the other, as I said, walk, 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 and begin to bring the hips down. Or maybe even when we gain a little bit more confidence, stepping both feet here and walk, 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 and bring the hips down. Okay, let's do that again. So pressing the hands on the blocks, lifting up. Yeah. As you press the hands and float, knees come into the chest. Take a big breath and round the spine, lift, step or hop back. Raise the heels, bend the knees a lot. Walk or step and take a seat. That's beautiful. Yeah. It's a lot of work. All right, and it's a lot of work in the wrists, a lot of work in the core. Let's see now, yeah. How can you do it? You can do it one more time for us. Beautiful. All right, everybody, learn. Okay, yeah, very well. Nadia makes us look a little bit ridiculous here. Oh my God. Okay, so once we're in our seat, extend your legs. Rotate your shoulders back, pressing the hands on the ground. We go all the way to the ground. Keep the chest lifted. Take a big breath in. Feet are active, heels grounded. Full exhale. This is Dandasana. Take another inhale. On the exhale, begin to fall forward, catching the big toes and extending the spine. Take a big breath in here. On the exhale, fall forward again. Bring in the torso all the way towards the thighs. If we need to bend the knees here, we bend the knees a lot. It is easier to work on the length of the hamstrings this way than it is to keep spine round and trying to extend it from there. Another inhale. Pull out. On your next inhale, lift the chest, but don't let your toes go. Exhale that out. Holding the sides of the feet, take a big breath in. On the exhale, bend your elbows and fall forward again. It's Paschimottanasana deep. Big breath in. Smooth breath out. Trying to soften the shoulders down. Another in breath. Full out. On your next inhale, lengthen the spine back again. Releasing the feet. Pressing those hands on the floor or on blocks. Cross the ankles, knees into the chest first. Lift, step or hop back. And whenever you feel ready, pressing into those hands, lifting the hips, lifting the heels. Step or hop forward into the hands. Beautiful. Yeah. All right. Uttanasana. Pressing the heels on the mat. Remember what we said last time? Trying to reach the toes and reaching the crown of the head back. If we're taking the variation of reverse table, same thing. Reaching the knees forward, reaching the crown of the head back. So choosing from whichever position you prefer. And here for Uttanasana, reverse table, pressing the hands on the ground. Pressing the feet away from you and extending the spine. Take a big breath in here. Smooth breath out. Lift, lift, lift. One more inhale. Full exhale. Coming back to center, pressing the hips on the ground. Cross your ankles, knees into the chest, pressing the hands on the floor, arm blocks. Lifting, stepping or hopping back. And your next inhale, raise the heels, bend the knees, step or hop forward in between the hands. Yes, beautiful. And we extend the legs back again. All right, so Ardha Maha Padma Paschimottanasana, which is the same posture that we did standing balancing. So the right leg comes in, we close the knee joint. We place either the ankle on top of the thigh or the knee there, the heel comes as close as possible to the hip crease. So if we have sensitive knee, block underneath that knee is very, very tall. So bring the block underneath your thigh, to support. Option to stay in here, and option to fold forward over the leg. The same hand comes to the lower back, the same side of the hand comes to the lower back, and the other arm reaches forward. Take a big breath in, keep on squaring your hips. Squaring the torso, full exhale. One more. Exhale that out. On your next inhale, left and back again. Releasing the leg. Crossing your ankles. We're not gonna go jump back in between sides, but we're gonna lift. Crossing the ankles, lifting the hips, and coming back down. Extend your legs. Again, bringing the left knee this time to bend. The heel or the ankle comes on top of the thigh. If you have half loads in your practice, go to that. Support the knee with your block. Yes. Same hand comes around. Take a big breath in here. Option to stay or option again to fold forward over the leg. Big inhale. Smooth breath out. One more. Long exhale. On your next inhale, lift the chest, releasing the hand, releasing the leg. Cross your ankles, place the hands on the floor. Lift and step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Full exhale. On your next inhale, raise your heels, bend your knees, walk your step to your seat. Beautiful. We skipped the triangle. Does somebody know how I get into triangle? Into that knee bending thing. I'm not gonna do it because you will know this. So how do I get into this pose? Who can explain that to me? Your heel and your back. But how would you get into this pose from downward facing? Can you do it first? Or you just okay. So from downward facing dog, I'm gonna step the left foot in between my hands. The back knee is gonna come to the ground, just more or less at the same, like at the same side up, beside my heel, right? I'm gonna sit my hips back on a block or on the floor. I'm gonna extend the leg, right? Remember that? Yeah, coming back. Okay, so let's go back to down dog. Step your left foot in between the hands. The back knee comes to the ground beside your heel. Begin to sit your hips slow all the way down, either to the ground or to a block. I think most of us were using a block. Yes. Yeah. I want to turn that knee, so I'm going to put a block underneath your hips as well. Yeah. Yeah. Like both hips. So lift. Yes. Yes. Exactly. We want kind of like what is going to happen in here, what you want in here really is if you notice what is happening in here in my body. So first of all, my heel is away from my glutes. Okay, so that means that the kneecap, the kneecap is kind of like open, and there is an opportunity for the knee to kind of like work, and I don't want that. Second thing, my sit bone is not on the ground, and I kind of like want to bring that sit bone to the floor. Okay, so what is going to help that action? Bringing the block underneath the hips, so we can have a little bit more space in between this leg. For it to be a little bit more close to my hip and lifting, it's gonna give me a lot more length in my chest as well. Okay, so I sit a little bit taller. The foot is supposed, of course, to be beside my hip, but never underneath it. Okay, so the other foot is nice and active. Micro-bending the front leg, just watching out for hyperextension. Take a big breath in here. On the exhale, fold forward, move over the legs. Catching any part that is accessible on the leg, keeping the chest nice and open. Beautiful. Take an inhale. Full out breath. One more. Long exhale. To get out of this pose, bringing the leg, lifting the chest back again, bringing the front leg to bed, placing the foot on the ground, lift the hips, step back, downward facing dog. Second side, we step the right foot in between the hands. The back knee comes to the ground as we bring the hips beside the back heel on a block. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful, very good. Yeah, that looks way better. Take a big breath in, keep the feet and the foot active. And on the exhale, begin to fall forward over the left. Extending your spine. Yes. At first, it's going to feel that it's impossible to fold, and I get it. It's a really complicated pose. Another inhale. Full exhale. On your next inhale, lift the chest back again, releasing. Bend your front knee, plant the foot on the ground, lift the hips, step back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, raise your heels, bend the knees, walk or step to your seated position back again. Janu Shasana. We extend both legs. And we always kind of like land in the same pose. So first we land with the feet on the, with the legs crossed, but we eventually extend the legs because it's kind of like, as I always say, Dandasana, which is this posture, is like the Samasthiti of the seated positions, right? So keeping the feet active, begin to bring the right knee to bend into the chest. Pressing the foot on the inside of your thigh. Trying to keep the other foot active, rotate your shoulders back, big inhale. On the exhale, fall forward over the leg. Catching any part of the leg that is accessible. Take a nice big breath in. Down and see out. One more, just like that. Inhale. Full exhale. On your next inhale, lift the chest. Exhale out. Inhale to come back up. Cross those ankles, place the hands on the ground, lift the hips, and come back down. Second side, we extend those legs back again. Nandasana. We bring the left knee into the chest this time. We place that foot on the inside of the thigh, trying to keep the hips nice and square. Take a nice long inhale here, lifting the chest, and on the exhale, we fall forward over the legs. Beautiful. Take another in breath. Full out breath. Skip to square. Yeah, another inhale, lifting the chest. Full exhale. On your next inhale, lift halfway. Exhale that out. Inhale to lift all the way back up. Releasing the leg. Cross those ankles. Place the hands on the floor. Step or hop back. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, raise your heels. Bend the knees. Walk or step to your seat. Back again. So there's 3 variations of Janu Shasana. We saw 2 of those last time. So this one remembers the other one. It's a very interesting one that we did. Yeah, sitting on the heel. Okay, so bringing the right foot on the inside of the thigh again, like in Janu Shasana A. There's always the option to stay in this one and just repeat the pose. This is always an option. Again, if somebody remembers, bringing a block underneath the seat, sitting on the edge of the block, and the other block to stay underneath the thigh. Just gonna grab this handy for a moment. One stay underneath the thigh. This will give us enough space for us, like kind of like to hover the hips from the heel without crushing the heel. In this one, if we are used to the pose and we want to go there, we can. Take a breath here, lifting the chest, and on the exhale again, we begin to fall forward over the leg. Yes, take a big inhale. Smooth out breaths. One more. Exhale out. On your next inhale, lifting back again, releasing the leg. Extending your leg, cross those ankles, place your hands on the floor, lift up, and can come back down to the ground or to the block. Second side, again, we begin with Janushasana A, and as we begin to fall forward, either we lift the hips and we place the heel, again, in the hands. We take a nice long inhale to lengthen, and on the exhale, we pull forward, trying to keep, yes, the hips nice and square. Okay. Sitting on the edge of the block works. Does that crush your ankle a lot? Okay, that's good. For some people, it's really uncomfortable, and for some people, it's not at all. So just find a comfortable-ish position in here. Another inhale. Smooth out. On your next inhale, lifting all the way back to center, releasing back. Yes, yeah, releasing the leg. Cross your ankles, place your hands on the floor, walk or step back, find the vinyasa or your way to downward facing dog. And the third variation, walk or step to your seat. Janushasana seat is the toe crusher pose. Okay, I'm just gonna do that without blocks and with blocks. Okay, so the idea is, again, stepping into Janu, but instead of lifting the hips this side, the toes are going to curl under. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my foot as close as I can to my pubic bone, and I'm gonna place my toes on the ground. And as I place my toes on the ground, I begin to drop the knee forward. I maybe lift my hips a little bit to wiggle, and then I am into the pose. I might stay in here. I might fold forward, catching any part of the leg that is accessible, keeping the spine nice and long, lifting, and then folding forward. The idea in here is that the heel kind of like gives a little bit of a massage to my navel. And let me tell you, after doing the pose for a couple of times, you get your bowels moving a little bit. So yeah, don't be surprised. And then to go out safely out of the pose, bringing the heel is always as closest to the pubic bone as possible, and just coming back to Janu or extending the leg. But before we start brushing our toes, don't worry. We have several options. And if we have a block again, or two, and I'm gonna start with a block. So with two blocks, and I'm not gonna even demonstrate the way to do it from the chair. This can be done from with a chair with a person that has really tight wrists and a couple of blocks. So if it's the case of anybody in the room, we can always do that. We start from the chair, and I start seated at the ends of the chair, of course. I bring my heel as close as I can to the blocks, and then place the foot on the ground and just bring it here. This can be a lot for many people. Maybe if my hips feel a little bit less tight, I might sit on a block. And maybe if my hips feel a little bit less tight, I might sit on the other block. And then maybe if I have a little bit more space, I sit a little bit lower. And again, the heel is very, very close to my pubic bone, right? And I keep on scraping the blocks from underneath until I find a comfortable position where I can sit. Okay, so let's start with 2 blocks each. We're gonna sit on the blocks. Sorry, let's see. We're gonna bring the right leg in. And again, taking the foot from the ankle, bringing the toes to the ground. Yes. Begin to drop. That looks good. Yes. Is there any knee sensation for anybody? Okay. So that looks like eventually maybe you will be able to sit just in one block, just depending on how it feels. Let's see. I will leave that. Okay. Bringing the heel a little bit closer to your thigh. Yes. And letting the knee drop to the ground. Yes. That looks good. Okay. And then for floating knee, I will put a block underneath your knee, so it doesn't have any pressure. And who else has a floating knee? Okay. And now that you need just only one block. No? Okay. All right. Yeah, everybody looks good. Take a big breath and rotate your shoulders back. On the exhale, begin to fall forward all over the leg. Take a big breath in. Smooth exhale. One more. Exhale out. On your next inhale, lengthen the spine, back again. Bringing the hands to hold the ankle, lifting and coming back down. Yes, and it's a lot on the toes, and wiggle the toes. It's a toe crush. Second side, we're just gonna stay as we are in our blocks. We bring the knee. Important thing is in here again, closing the knee joint. Never. There are some teachers and they're still teaching like that. And I actually learned this pose doing this. I'm just gonna illustrate with this, where you bring the foot up and then kind of like take the leg like this, and then like kind of like twerking it in here. The thing that you're doing that, like creating space in between the leg and opening the knee joint, is that the twist comes from the knee. And we don't want that. We want the twist to start in the heel and kind of like adapt from the hip. This is a hip opener. So this comes from the opening the hip back and then closing it forward again. Okay? So again, knee joint close, the hands come and grab the ankle in here and then place the toes on the ground. And as we place the toes on the ground, maybe the knee touches the ground or not. If it doesn't touch the ground, bring some support underneath the knee. Rotate the shoulders back, big inhale. And on the exhale, fold forward over the leg. Another inhale. Smooth exhale. One more. Exhale out. On your next inhale, lift the chest back again, releasing the leg. Holding your ankle, releasing your foot. Beautiful. Whenever you feel ready, walk a step back to your downward facing dog or climb the vinyasa. Whenever you feel ready, walk a step to your seat. All right. closing sequence. And before we go into our backs, I'm just gonna demonstrate what we're gonna do today. After back bending, any type of back bends that you have in your practice, I'm just gonna leave that to you. If you have any idea of what back bend you want to do today, just please let me know. I'll offer some options, either a bridge, active, supported bridge, Uddiyana if you have it in your practice. And I know you practice. And
I can do a bridge.
you can do a bridge.
I know, but it hurts here.
Oh, it hurts.
I go down and
If it hurts, never.
Get up.
Okay, we'll take a look at your back and then. And but for our inversion practice, I want to offer, for those of you who practice shoulder stand, you practice shoulder stand? No? Okay, how do you, is there any particular reason why you practice shoulder stand?
I haven't been shown it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, that's a good opportunity. So, yeah. And we're gonna work with shoulder stand then. I know, Nina, have you ever done a shoulder stand? I don't
A long time ago, so basically I'm back at nothing.
Okay, so we're gonna practice shoulder stand actually at the wall, and it's a really good thing. You know what? We're gonna skip the back bend today, and we're gonna workshop that shoulder stand. I think it's more important. So I'm just gonna demonstrate what we're gonna do. I'm just trying to see where I can show this that the camera will take it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go as close as possible to the wall, and I'm gonna have one of your blocks, Nadia, please. Thank you so much. All right, so I just keep my block as close as possible, and in here, I wiggle my hips as close to the wall as I can. I can stay in legs of the wall, that's always an option. If I want to gain a little bit more height, what I'm gonna do is gonna press the feet on the ground, lift the hips, and slide that block underneath my hips. And then again, legs up, no big deal. Second option, pressing the feet on the wall, just as I did. I begin to lift the hips. And here, this is where the action comes. So the hands support my lower back, fingers pointing forward, thumbs on my lower back, pressing my elbows as close as possible together, maybe extending one leg towards the sky and coming back down and extending the other leg up to the sky and coming back down. If I feel confident in here, maybe I begin to lift both legs. And I'm as close to the wall as possible, just in case I feel a little bit not confident. Just in case I just still need to have a little bit of support. So it's really right there. If I have that shoulder stand, maybe my hands change the position. The hands, this time the fingers, support the lower back. And I even can take my legs a little bit back to kind of like accommodate my hands. And then back again, switch my legs to be kind of like in a straight line with my hips. An option to stay in there. Option if I have space to lower my feet over my head. If they don't touch the ground, maybe a block underneath will do. I will come to you and see that. Option in there to go into Ganapidasana, ear pressure, knees towards the ears. Option to stay a couple of breaths and maybe coming back to center. If I have a shoulder stand practice, maybe I explore a little bit that part of going into lotus or half lotus in here. If I have the half lotus or the lotus, maybe holding my legs. And if I hold my legs, maybe I bring my knees to the chest. Endless possibilities. And to come back safely. Pressing the feet on the wall. I don't need any support in here because my legs are doing all the job. Releasing all the way down. Maybe keeping the legs up for a moment and resting. I could even like take Shavasana here or go to Shavasana in another position. Okay. Does that sound really complicated and scary?
It's a shoulder stand, it's easy.
It's easy. Yes, it is easy. It's just shoulder stand. One of the things that I want to suggest in here, and it's really important, never turning the neck while we're up. Never, ever, ever. If you need to look to the neighbor or whoever, coming down and then yes, liberating the neck. That's very, very important. If we feel any compression on the cervical, let me know. There is options to support the shoulders with a blanket underneath to create space on the space of the neck. So let's see how that looks for you, and we'll accommodate everybody. Very well. Now I'm just gonna take this one because I just don't want them falling in your face. Just in case. I just don't trust them. I'm gonna move this side with this one. No. Okay, close to the wall as I can get. Yes. Pressing the feet on the wall. Yes. And I degree angle with my legs, pressing as if I was in bridge. Yes. Maybe pressing your hands on the ground, pressing the feet on the ground, on the wall. As you press, begin to lift the hips. See how that feels. Okay. Hands to your hips. Maybe supporting there. Option to stay in there. Option to lift one leg. Option to begin to bring the leg back and lift the other. Just exploring, right? How it feels on the neck, exploring how it feels on the back. You feel pretty much confident. Option to bring both legs, yes. Lifting up. Supporting the hips. Bringing the feet towards you. Yes. Towards you. All right. Beautiful. Keep on breathing. Take another inhale. And breath out. Option to stay in here. Option to begin to drop the feet towards the back. Over your head. And right here. Okay, that's okay. That's good. That's good. Maybe bring it to go up, to go out. Bring the knees into the chest. With control, using the arms as brakes, you can place the feet on the wall. Yes, it's right there. It's right there. I'm just gonna say yes. There we go. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. Knees towards your ears. Yes, very good. It's pretty normal. It's pretty normal. What about you, Sherry? Whenever you feel ready. Yes, listen to the chest, beautiful. Extending the legs back again. Bring the legs towards me. Right there. Yeah. Yes. Whenever you feel ready, bend your knees, bring the knees into the chest. Yes. Now bring the feet to the wall. So bring the foot, reach the foot to the wall. Right here. And yes. The other foot to the wall. And whenever you feel ready, release. Taking your time. Maybe keeping your legs up. Maybe eventually finding your way to your seat. Take your time. Let's bring the hands on the thighs, rotating the shoulders back. Maybe a movement with your hands, index and thumb, come to touch, extend the fingers. Just concentrate on the breath for 10 breaths, 10 active breaths. Take a big breath in first. Full breath out. Inhale. Full exhale. Keep on going, 10. Releasing your hands. You are more than welcome to stay where you are as long as you need. Whenever you feel ready, begin to come into a comfortable position with the crown of the head facing the altar, preferably. Find a nice comfortable position for Shavasana. You have your blocks with you and you want to support your thighs. That's always an option. Just reduce the pressure on the lower back. Pratapyam Paripalentyam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahesha O Brahmanebhyaha Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Samangalani Santu Lokshakaryana Samvrede Astu Vishwashanti Astu Om Shanti 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 Om. If you are feeling comfortable where you are, you're more than welcome to stay as long as you need. If you're feeling ready to move, just be gentle with your body. Maybe bring a breath or two in and out of your lungs. Again, take a minute to observe how you feel. Whenever you feel ready, begin to find a little bit of movement, gentle movement, conscious breaths. And as you start to feel ready, whenever you feel ready, begin to bring yourself into a fetal position on the left hand side. Taking a moment here to connect to your breath. Eventually finding your way back to your seat. With your eyes closed and your hands at the center of the chest, and then to remove that. Taking a moment to connect again to your attention. To connect again to your breath. Just to find a little bit of gratitude towards anything that you feel grateful for today. Rub your palms together. And cover your eyes. Rub your palms one more time. We cover that part of the body that needs the most right now. Thank you so much for your energy and for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. I will see you next time. Mangalam Bhavatu. Thank you so much. Have a blissful rest of your day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Very well, Nadia. Can we see your shoulder stand again? Thank you so much.